And now we start 2.2, Aria da Capo by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Now, there are a lot of questions on the test about Aria da Capo, so we're going to spend some time here. It's a one-act play, meaning the entire thing takes place in one act. Everyone's on stage the whole time. They never cut the lights and change the scene. It's just one straight through reading. It's Project Gutenberg. If you've never heard of that, Project Gutenberg is an internet site where they collect books that are in the public domain. That means they've been out and published for so long that nobody owns the rights to them anymore, and you don't have to pay anybody to read them or perform them or use them, which is probably why it's being used here, because Penn Foster didn't have to pay anybody to use it. Makes sense, right? Edna St. Vincent Millay, you will recognize as the poet from The Candle Burning at Both Ends. Aria da Capo means something. Let me actually look that up real quick. Search Google for Aria da Capo. The da capo aria is a musical form for arias that was prevalent in the Baroque era. It is sung by a soloist with the accompaniment of instruments, often a small orchestra. The da capo aria is very common in the musical genres of opera and oratorio. Okay, so a lone singer. Characters: Pierrot, Columbine, Cothurnus, Mask of Tragedy, Thyrsis is a shepherd, and Corydon is a shepherd. Scene: a stage. Now this is where you got to start using your imagination to try to imagine what this looks like. The curtain rises on a stage set for a harlequinade. What is a harlequinade? Search Google. A section of a traditional pantomime in which Harlequin played a leading role, a piece of buffoonery. Okay, buffoonery, you say. So silliness. This is what I found when I looked up Aria da Capo on YouTube. The quality looks really bad, so I don't want to watch it. But this is what the set kind of looks like, if you can imagine this. There's a long table with a black and white cloth. I think this is Pierrot and this is Columbine. And then this is the Mask of Tragedy in the back. Okay, let's read. A merry black and white interior. Directly behind the footlights and running parallel with them is a long table covered with a gay black and white cloth on which is spread a banquet. At the opposite ends of the table, seated on delicate thin-legged chairs with high backs, are Pierrot and Columbine, dressed according to the tradition, except that Pierrot is in lilac and Columbine is in pink. They are dining. Columbine: Pierrot, a macaroon! I cannot live without a macaroon! My only love, you are so intense! Is it Tuesday, Columbine? I'll kiss you if it's Tuesday. It is Wednesday, if you must know. Is this my artichoke, or yours? Ah, Columbine, as if it mattered. Wednesday. Will it be Tuesday, then, tomorrow, by any chance? Tomorrow will be... Pierrot, that isn't funny. I thought it rather nice. Well, let us drink some wine and lose our heads, and love each other. Pierrot, don't you love me now? La, what a woman! How should I know? Pour me some wine. I'll tell you presently. Pierrot, do you know, I think you drink too much. Yes, I dare say I do, or else too little. It's hard to tell. You see, I am always wanting a little more than what I have, or else a little less. There's something wrong. My dear, how many fingers have you? La, indeed, how should I know? It always takes me one hand to count the other with. It's too confusing. Why? Why? I am a student, Columbine, and search into all matters. La, indeed? Count them yourself, then. No, or rather, nay. 'Tis of no consequence. I am become a painter suddenly, and you impress me. Ah, yes, 6 orange bull's-eyes, 4 green pinwheels, and 1 magenta jelly-roll. The title as follows: Woman Taking in Cheese from Fire Escape. See, okay, I'm going to pause for a second reading this because it's hard. It's really hard to follow. This is funny banter. This is them sort of firing back and forth at each other, being silly. Will you kiss me? Oh, I don't know. Is it the right day? I'll only kiss you on what Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. Well, is tomorrow Tuesday then? Oh, ha 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 ha. Um, this is sort of in the Shakespearean tradition of two characters who are very clever, just firing back and forth at each other really fast, uh, in ways that don't make a whole lot of sense if you haven't already read it. So it's something that you're supposed to see as a play. You're supposed to see it over and over again until you can follow everything they're saying and pick apart all the jokes. Um, Sort of like in a good comedy movie where it's so jam packed with jokes that you can go back and rewatch it a second time and get jokes you didn't catch the first time, and then you come back a third time and there's even more jokes, and you're like, how did I not get this the first time? It's because it was moving too fast. It was too packed with references and things like that. Okay, so I am become a painter suddenly, and you impress me. Ah, yes, 6 orange bullseyes, 4 green pinwheels, and 1 magenta jelly roll. The title as follows. He's like framing her with his hands, right? And looking at her and saying, I'm a painter and you are my painting, and you are woman taking in cheese from the fire escape. Well, I like that. So that is all I've meant to you. Maybe she's being sarcastic. Well, I like that. I think that's supposed to be sarcastic. So that's all I've meant to you. Hush! All at once, I am become a pianist. I will imagine you in sound, on a new scale, without tonality. Vivace senza tempo senza tutto. Title: Uptown Express at 6 o'clock. Pour me a drink. Piero, you work too hard. You need a rest. Come on out into the garden and sing me something sad. Don't stand so near me. I am become a socialist. I love humanity, but I hate people. Columbine, put on your mittens, child. Your hands are cold. My hands are not cold. Oh, I am sure they are. And you must have a shawl to wrap around you and sit by the fire. Why, I'll do no such thing. I'm hot as a spoon in a teacup. Columbine, I'm a philanthropist. I know I am, because I feel so restless. Do not scream, or it will be the worse for you. What? What does that even mean? Do not scream, or it will be the worse for you. Do you know what philanthropist means? I think Piero might actually be stupid. Because philanthropist means somebody who gives away their money to people in need. But he says, I know I'm a philanthropist because I feel restless. Do not scream. Piero might be an idiot. He might legitimately be an idiot. Okay, Columbine says, Piero, my vinaigrette. I cannot live without my vinaigrette. She's asking for more food again. My only love, you are so fundamental. How would you like to be an actress? Columbine, I am become your manager. Why, Piero, I can't act. Can't act, can't act. La, listen to this woman. What's that to do with the price of furs? You're blonde, are you not? You have no education, have you? Can't act. You underrate yourself, my dear. Okay, the implication being there the implication there being that if you have no education and are blonde, you are automatically qualified to be an actress. Um, you underrate yourself, my dear. Yes, I suppose I do. As for the rest, I'll teach you how to cry and how to die and other little tricks, and the house will love you. You'll be a star by 5 o'clock. That is, if you will let me pay for your apartment. Let you? Well, that's a good one. Ha ha ha. But why? But why? Well, as to that, my dear, I cannot say. It's just a matter of form. Columbine says, Pierrot, I'm getting tired of caviar and peacock's livers. Isn't there something else that people eat? Some humble vegetable that grows in the ground? Well, there are mushrooms. Yeah, Pierrot's an idiot. Mushrooms. That's so. I had forgotten. Mushrooms. Mushrooms. I cannot live with... How do you like this gown? Not much. I'm tired of gowns that have the waistline about the waist and the hem around the bottom. The women with their breasts in front of them. Zoot and hee hee. Where... What? Where does one go from here? He's just tired of things being the way they're supposed to be. Here's a persimmon, love. You always liked them. I am become a critic. There is nothing I can enjoy. He's a critic now. See, that's okay. So that's a running joke. I am become. I am become a critic. I am become a philanthropist. I am become an actor. He's just in the middle of conversation. He's changing his title. He's giving himself titles, changing what he is. I am become a critic. There is nothing I can enjoy. However, set it aside. I'll eat it between meals. Pierrot, do you know? Sometimes I think you're making fun of me. My love, by yon black moon, you wrong us both. There isn't a sign of a moon, Pierrot. Actually, he kind of meant that. By yon black moon. If the moon is black, that means it's a new moon. You can't see the moon. She says there isn't sign of a moon. Oh, there isn't sign of a moon, Pierrot. Of course not. There never was. Moon's just a word to swear by. No, the moon is real, Pierrot, you idiot. Mutton. Now there's a thing you can lay hands on, and set the tooth in. Listen, Columbine, I always lied about the moon, and you. Food is my only lust. Well, eat it then, for heaven's sake, and stop your silly noise. I haven't heard the clock tick for an hour. Well, it's ticking all the same. If you were a fly, you would be dead by now, and if I were a parrot, I would be talking for 1,000 years. Enter Cothurnus, which I think is that person, that mask of tragedy in the back. Hold up, let me go back up and check. Yeah, Cothurnus is the mask of tragedy. Okay. Hello, what's this, for God's sake? What's the matter? Say, what do you mean? Get off the stage, my friend, and pinch yourself. You're walking in your sleep. I never sleep. Well, anyhow, clear out. You don't belong on here. Wait for your own scene. What do you think this is, a dress rehearsal? So they're admitting it's a play in the middle of this. That's what they're doing. Look, say, what do you mean? Get off the stage, my friend. Right here, get off the stage, my friend. They're like breaking character and talking to Cothurnus as though he's some person who just wandered on in the middle of the play. Okay, well, anyhow, clear out. You don't belong on here. Wait for your own scene. What do you think this is, a dress rehearsal? Sir, I am tired of waiting. I will wait no longer. Well, but what are you going to do? This scene is set for me. True, sir, yet I can play the scene. Oh, no, wait. True, sir, yet I can play the scene. Your scene is down for later. That, too, is true, sir, but I play it now. Oh, very well. Anyway, I am tired of black and white. At least, I think I am. Exit Columbine. Okay, so I think Columbine was supposed to be a lady. Now, Columbine's gone. And Pierrot keeps talking. Yes, I am sure I am. I know what I'll do. I'll go and strum the moon. That's what I'll do. Unless, perhaps, you can never tell, I may be, tired of the moon. Well, anyway, I'll go find Columbine, and when I find her, I will address her thus. Eh, Pierrette! There's something in that. Exit Pierrot. Okay, now Cothurnus is by himself for a moment. You, Thyrsis, Gordon, where are you? Thyrsis, from off stage. Sir, we are in our dressing room. Come out and do the scene. You are mocking us. The scene is down for later. That is true, but we will play it now. I am the scene. Seats himself on high place in back of stage. I am the scene. So that's like a little pun there. If he sits himself on a high place in the back of the stage, he's saying two things. I am the scene, meaning the scene is only important because I'm in it, and he's also a part of the scenery. I am the scenery. So that's a nice little joke there. And I'm giving him this weird deep voice because over here, the mask looked really creepy-like. See? Look how creepy. Wow, yeah, I was right. That quality is terrible. Corydon. Sir, we are counting on this little hour. We said, here is an hour in which to think a mighty thought, to sing a trifling song, and to look at nothing. And behold, the hour, even as we spoke, was over, and the act begun, under our feet. Sir, we are not in the fancy to play the play. We had thought to play it later. Besides, this is the setting for a farce. Our scene requires a wall. We cannot build a wall of tissue paper. We cannot act a tragedy with comic properties. Try it and see. I think you'll find you can. One wall is like another, and regarding the matter of your insufficient mood, the important thing is that you speak the lines and make the gestures, wherefore I shall remain throughout and hold the prompt book. Are you ready? Sir, we are always ready. Play the play. Corydon and Thyrsis move the table and chairs to one side of the way and seat themselves in half-reclining position on the floor. Thyrsis, how gently is the silence, Corydon. Our sheep go up the bank. They crop a grass that's yellow here. Okay, hold on, let me start that over. How gently is the silence, Corydon. Our sheep go up the bank. They crop a grass that's yellow where the sun is out, and black where the clouds drag their shadows. Have you noticed how steadily, yet with what a slanting eye they graze? This one's going to be a little harder to follow, I think. Have you noticed how steadily, yet with what a slanting eye they graze? As if they thought of other things. What say you, Thyrsis? Do they only question where next to pull? Or do their far minds draw them thus vaguely north of west and south of east? One cannot say. The black lamb wears its burdocks as if they were a garland. Have you noticed? Purple and white, and drinks the bitten grass as if it were a wine. Corydon, I've noticed that. What say you, Thyrsis? Shall we make a song about a lamb that thought himself a shepherd? Why, yes. That is, why, no. I have forgotten my line. I know literally, he's like, you brought me on stage too early. I can't remember my lines. Why, yes. That is, why, no. I have forgotten my line. I know a game worth two of that. Oh, yes. I know a game worth two of that. Let's gather rocks and build a wall between us and say that over there belongs to me and over here to you. Why, very well, and say you may not come upon my side unless I say you may, nor you on mine, and if you should, 'twould be the worse for you. They weave a wall of colored crepe paper ribbons from the center front to the center back of the stage, fastening the ends to Columbine's chair in front and Pierrot's chair in back. Corydon, now there is a wall a man may see across, but not attempt to scale. An excellent wall. Come, let us separate, and sit alone a little while, and lay a plot whereby we may outdo each other. They seat themselves on opposite sides of the wall. Pierrot, off stage. Ahead, Pierrette! My name is Columbine. Leave me alone. Thyrsis coming up to the wall. Corydon, after all, and in spite of the fact that I started it myself, I do not like this so very much. What is the sense of saying I do not want you on my side of the wall? It is a silly game. I'd much prefer making the little song you spoke of making, about the lamb, you know, that thought himself a shepherd. What do you say? Pause. Corydon, at the wall. I have forgotten the line. Cothurnus, how do I know this isn't a trick? Oh, yes, how do I know this isn't a trick to get upon my land? Oh, Corydon, you know it's not a trick. I do not like the game, that's all. Come over here, let me come over there. There's a clever trick to get upon my land, seats himself as before. Oh, very well, seats himself as before. To himself, I think I never knew a sillier game. Corydon, coming to wall. Oh, Thyrsis, just a minute. All the water is on your side of the wall, and the sheep are thirsty. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, hadn't you? Why, what do you mean? What do I mean? I mean that I can play a game as well as you can, and if the pool is on my side, it's on my side, and that's all. You mean you'd let the sheep go thirsty? Well, they're not my sheep. My sheep have water enough. Your sheep? You are mad. You call them yours, mine, they are all one flock. Thyrsis, you can't mean to keep the water from them just because they happen to be grazing over here instead of over there when we set up the wall. Oh, can't I? Wait and see. And if you try to lead them over here, you'll wish you hadn't. I wonder how it happens. I wonder how it happens all the water is on your side. I'll say you had an eye out for a lot of things, my innocent friend, when I said, let us make a song, and you said, I know a game worth two of that. Columbine, off stage. Pierrot, do you know, I think you might be getting old, or fat, or something. Stupid, anyway. Can you put on some other kind of collar? You know as well as I do, Corydon, I never thought anything of the kind. Don't you? I do not. Don't you? I... Oh, I suppose so. You know that, actually, that's funny. You know as well as I do, Corydon. I never thought anything of the kind. Don't you? I do not. Don't you? That little back and forth there reminds me of uh, what's it called? Pirates of the Caribbean, where Captain Jack Sparrow is arguing with his first mate, and he says, "Jack, what are you doing?" He says, "What are you doing?" "No, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And then just putting different emphasis on the same words and throwing it back and forth to each other. Corydon, oh, I suppose so. Dearsis, let's drop this. What do you say? It's only a game, you know. You seem to be forgetting it's only a game. A pretty serious game it's getting to be when one of us is willing to let the sheep go thirsty for the sake of it. I know it, Corydon. They reach out their arms to each other across the wall. Cothurnus prompting. But how do I know? Oh, yes. But how do I know this isn't a trick to water your sheep and get the laugh on me? You can't know. That's the difficult thing about it, of course. You can't be sure. You have to take my word for it, and I know just how you feel. But one of us has to take a risk, or else, why, don't you see, the game goes on forever. It's terrible when you stop to think about it. Oh, Thyrsis, now for the first time I feel this wall is actually a wall, a thing come up between us, shutting you away from me. I do not know you any more. No, don't say that. Oh, Corydon, I'm willing to drop it all, if you will. Come on over, and water your sheep. It is an ugly game. I hated it from the first. How did it start? I do not know. I do not know. I think I am afraid of you. You are a stranger. I never set eyes on you before. Come over and water my sheep, indeed. They'll be more thirsty than they are now before I bring them over to your land, and have you mixing them up with yours, and calling them yours, and trying to keep them. Enter Columbine. Columbine to Cothurnus. Clummy, I want my hat. Take it and go. Take it and go, indeed. Is it my hat, or isn't it? Is this my scene, or not? Take it and go. Really, you know, you two are awfully funny. Exit Columbine. Corydon, my friend, I'm going to leave you now, and whittle me a pipe, or sing a song, or go to sleep. When you have come to your senses, let me know. Goes back to where he has been sitting, lies down, and sleeps. Corydon, in going back to where he has been sitting, stumbles over a bowl of colored confetti and colored paper ribbons. Why, what is this? Red stones and purple stones? Stones stuck full of gold? The ground is full of gold and colored stones. I'm glad the wall was up before I found them, otherwise I should have to share them. As it is, they all belong to me. Unless he goes to the wall and digs up and down the length of it to see if there are any jewels on the other side. None here, none here, none here. They all belong to me. Sits. Thyrsis, awakening. How curious. I thought the little black lamb came up and licked my hair. I saw the wool about its neck, as plain as anything. It must have been a dream. The little black lamb is on the other side of the wall, I'm sure. Goes to the wall and looks over. Corydon is seated on the ground, tossing the confetti up into the air and catching it. Hello, what's that you've got there, Corydon? Jewels. Jewels? Wherever did you get them? Oh, over here. You mean to say you found them by digging around in the ground for them? No, Thyrsis, by digging down for water for my sheep. Maybe he's being sarcastic. No, Thyrsis, by digging down for water for my sheep. I don't know. Corydon, come to the wall a minute, will you? I want to talk to you. I haven't time. I'm making me a necklace of red stones. I'll give you all the water you want for one of those red stones, if it's a good one. Water? What for? What do I want with water? Why, for your sheep. My sheep? I'm not a shepherd. Your sheep are dying of thirst. Man, how long is this thing? Oh, good Lord. Okay. We're actually fairly close to the end. Water? What for? What do I want of water? Why, for your sheep. My sheep? I'm not a shepherd. Your sheep are dying of thirst. Man, haven't I told you that I can't be bothered with a few untidy brown sheep all full of burdocks? I'm a merchant. That's what I am. So here's a little repetition of, like, earlier in the play, the one guy kept saying, I am this, I am that, I am now become a philanthropist, I am become an actor, I am become. He just changed at the drop of a hat. Corridon has now changed. He's not a shepherd anymore. He's a merchant. He thinks himself a merchant because he found jewels. I'm a merchant, that's what I am, and if I set my mind to it, I dare say I could be an emperor. To himself, wouldn't I be a fool to spend my time watching a flock of sheep go up a hill when I have these to play with? When I have these to think about? I can't make up my mind whether to buy a city and have 1,000 beautiful girls to bathe me and be happy until I die, or build a bridge and name it the Bridge of Corridon and be remembered after I'm dead. Corridon, come to the wall, won't you? I want to tell you something. Hush! Be off! Be off! Go finish your nap, I tell you. Corridon, listen, if you don't want your sheep, give them to me. Be off! Go finish your nap. A red one, and a blue one, and a red one, and a purple one? Give you my sheep, did you say? Come, come, what do you take me for, a fool? I have a lot of thinking to do, and while I'm thinking, the sheep might just as well be over here as over there. A blue one, and a red one, but they will die, and a green one, and a couple of white ones for a change. Maybe I have some jewels on my side? And another green one? Maybe, but I don't think so. You see, this rock isn't so very wide. It stops before it gets to the wall. It seems to go quite deep, however. With hatred. I see. Look, Pierrot, there's the moon. Nonsense. I see. Sing me a song, Pierrot, something I can remember. Columbine, your mind is made of crumbs, like an escallop of oysters. First a layer of crumbs, and then an oystery taste, and then a layer of crumbs. Thyrsis, searching. I find no jewels. But I wonder what the root of this black weed would do to a man if he should taste it. I have seen a sheep die with half the stalk still drooling from its mouth. 'Twould be a speedy remedy, I should think, for a festered pride and a feverish ambition. It has a curious root. I think I'll hack it in little pieces. First, I'll get me a drink, and then I'll hack the root in little pieces as small as dust and see what the color is inside. Goes to the bowl on the floor. The pool is very clear. I see a shepherd standing on the brink with a red cloak about him and a black weed in his hand. 'Tis I. Kneels and drinks. Hello, what are you doing, Thyrsis? Digging for gold? I'll give you all the gold you want, if you'll give me a bowl of water. If you don't want too much, that is to say. Ho, so you've changed your mind? It's different, isn't it, when you want to drink yourself? Of course it is. Well, let me see. A bowl of water. Come back in an hour, Corridon. I'm busy now. Oh, Thyrsis, give me a bowl of water, and I'll fill the bowl with jewels and bring it back. Be off. I'm busy now. What was that sound? Maybe I'm running out of time. Maybe this only records for 30 minutes. Be off, I'm busy now. He catches sight of the weed, picks it up, looks at it, unseen by Corridon. Pick me up the finest stones you have. I'll bring you a drink of water presently. Goes back and sits down with the jewels before him. A bowl of jewels is a lot of jewels. I wonder if it has a bitter taste. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna do a shorter version of this. I'm gonna finish reading it and do a shorter version and post both of these videos.